Hi guys, in today's review we'll be looking at a all new tooled vent van or covered van, and this one is by a different manufacturer. This is by EFE Rail, and this is a SR diagram 1410 in the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway grey livery. This makes it era 2. The product code you need for this one is E87052. And like I said, this came out during the Bachmann autumn announcements of this year of 2023. I will tell you the price at the end, so let's get into it and see if it's any good, shall we? Starting off at the front or the back of this 10-ton covered van, we do have the usual NAM coupling by Bachmann or EFE here. We also have metal unsprung buffers, and the buffer housing is in black. Like I said, they are metal. The buffer beam itself with a few rivets on there is in grey, and then we have a metal hook in the centre, which is a great touch. There's no chain links or anything like that, but this is metal. Then as we move on up, the livery of the wagon is in, or the van is in grey. The two supports in the centre, I've got rivets on there. Here's a slight wood effect going on with the planking of this van, but most of it is in grey and it's hard to see. But at least we have rivets, metal unsprung buffers, a metal hook, and a NEM small tension lock coupling. As we now move on to the side of this van, on this van there is a little difference underneath the van itself onto the chassis. The other side does not have any handbrakes or bracing like that, it's only this side. I will get into more detail with that when I do the underneath look. So yeah, the livery of this van is in grey. It is the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. I believe it was a LSWR van originally. We do have 3 lots of X's on there with, I think, are bracing with a few rivets on it. We also have the S&DJR lettering. We also have the word road van as well. In the centre bit we do have a small handrail, and then below that we have a plaque with the number of the wagon or the van on it. The wood effect I think it does show through, but again it's in grey. The number of this van is 1213 if I have that correct. Then below that we have some more writing, and then below that near the handbrake on this side we do have a tiny handle, a grab rail, and then the other side there's no brake, but we also have the grab rail on the van as well. It's very tiny, very hard to see, and that is in grey as well. The underneath of this, like I said, this side here has the handbrake. Nothing's picked out on the handbrake, like the handle or anything like that, but we do have axles and springs, and it is separately applied as well. Everything on here is crisply moulded. You can even see the latches on the handbrake as well. The wheels again are metal as well, and I think they are spoked too. Onto the aerial view now of this Somerset and Dorset road van. Onto the roof now, there's nothing on there at all. The roof is just painted grey. There's no rain duckies or anything like that, so it's pretty simple. And finally we come on to the underneath look at this Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway road van or covered van. Let us start with the differences like I mentioned on the side. One side does have the bracing and a handbrake, the other side doesn't, which is correct for the model. But you can see the holes where the detail should go. There's also some holes in the centre of the van as well for other detail parts, I believe. We do have a spring in the centre, or moulded one anyway, which is quite detailed. You can see the spring and you can see the screw. I think it's more for the suspension. We do have some bracing, but no rivets or anything like that. You can also see a few holes or circles for the moulding tool. We have NAM couplings at either end. And on the side it does have the bracing and the handbrake. That is very thin and very separately applied as well. Very delicate, well done to EFE and KERNOW for that. And again, like I said, we have spoked wheels. I think it's 7 spokes on the wheel. These wheels seem to be a bit slow rolling, but they're there and they do move from side to side as well. Failing that, there isn't really much to look at apart from a few more handles dotted around on the underframe as well. So next up will be the coupling test. So we have some Hornby 4 and 6 wheel coaches in the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. And then we also have a Bachmann Collectors Club, which will come to view in a minute, 1P or Midland 1P in the correct livery. So let's see if the couplings do match up, shall we? Yeah, just doesn't look like they have, but they have, yeah. The one on the van to the loco is a little bit dodgy, but they're all coupled up and they all can go. No issues with the couplings at all. So guys, that's the end of the running session and the review. Before I give my opinion, I'll tell you what it ran with, which you probably can guess by now, was the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway 1P by Bachmann, and this is the Collectors Club version. The reason I ran that one is because I don't have any other Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway locomotives in my fleet in the pre-grouping livery. I do have a 7F, I think I have a 3F as well. They are all in BR liveries or LMS liveries, so I just thought I'd try and match it up a little bit. And then we also had some Hornby 4 and 6 wheel generic coaches with a little bit of a drag on the 6 wheel ones, that's why it was stuttering. But overall it looks okay to me, I quite like it. It ran pretty well. The speed it was doing, the loco was 15 on the Gauge Master Combi, if that, it was pretty low and it managed it pretty well, if I'm honest with you. I did say I would tell you the price, and I got mine from KERNOW Model Shop. I paid £27.99. That doesn't include P&P, which is okay. I understand it's not Oxford Rail prices. Their pre-grouping covered van was like £12, but we can't keep comparing manufacturers to Oxford Rail, but we sort of can because Oxford Rail have shown the way to do it. If you were to buy this direct from Bachmann, it would cost you £33. I'm not sure about the postage, but £33 seems to be the Rapido sort of prices, and it is, like I said, a new tooled rolling stock. And it's nice to have a few pre-grouping rolling stocks in anyone's fleet, really. You could do a preserve line with a few dotted around. Do I have any issues with mine? No, there was no issues with mine. Yeah, okay, I missed a few rivets on top of the roof, but that was really about it when I was doing the review. It's a nice touch that we have metal unsprung buffers. I'm not sure if it brought the price down. I know this was a KERNOW Models tooling idea, if I have that correct watching the video, and EFE or Bachmann helped distribute it across the world or UK instead of just being at KERNOW. It runs pretty well, there's no issues. The couplings all match up to a variety of manufacturers' couplings. So yeah, it looks okay to me. It runs well. The wheels aren't stiff, but they don't roll as free as other ones. But they're all better than the Hornby 6-wheeled ones, they are pretty stiff. They do variety of liveries for this. If you're interested, they do a LSWR one, which is the original one. They also do, I think, a BR one, a Southern one, and a few others. And then they also do a few other variants, like with some of the details. We have holes for other variants. They do that as well. And they were a different diagram, I believe. Like I said, the pricing is okay. If you really want one, pay the pricing like I did. If you're not and you're willing to wait it out and see if one pops up in the sale, please do, because I've got a few bargains recently from a sale when I bought 5 new tooled items for £50. They were in a sale, so yeah, it can happen. And one of them was a guardsman that I was been waiting on for a while, and it just wasn't at the right price, and it was. Like I said, there's lots of detail. Nothing's going to fall off this. I'm pretty heavy-handed with my stuff because of my illness. Nothing's going to fall off this. If I can manage to hold it, other people can. There's no issues with it. Like I said, the couplings all match up. And it's really down to your preference. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to wait it out? And is it your cup of tea? But for me, I actually like it. It does the job. So that's the end of the review. I hope you liked it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. So please take care and goodbye.